Good morning, Las Vegas. We're over the hump. Day number 6 here in the Cinch Stage, the Cowboy Commons, live from the East Lobby of the Las Vegas Convention Center. Don't get your head in a spin. You've made it this far. Finish strong. Kendra Santos, Tommy Joe Lucia, No Spin Rodeo Rally.
Hey, welcome to the rally, all you no spinners. Thanks for coming. All of you that are listening to us back at home. It is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. Happy birthday, Chase Lucia, my son, by the way, back at home. The weather's been good. Cool stage, cool day. Spin is probably what a lot of you felt like when you woke up this morning or walked to your room. It is the hump. It is the hump, which... good morning, Kendra Santos. I'm going to pitch it to you this way. It is the hump because this is where most of us that are in this deal the whole time start to feel a little tired. Now, you guys just finished last night the back number for Oat Steer Wrestling here, right?
That was at the South Point
at
1 o'clock, yes.
But I mean, the Steer Wrestling's here across the road at the Junior NFR, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell us about that. How was it?
It was typical. It was funny because Ode had his Pimp Daddy Vegas jacket on, and I'm...
How many of those does he own?
Schlepping boxes in a sweatshirt like the Mud Hen, and he's the Peacock. Typical.
Do you know if he's a Pimp Daddy, what that infers?
Okay. Well, let's just say this. So, while we're at it, when he's on Matt Merritt's show the other day, and he was on there with Hudson Bolton and Josh Frost, the bull riders, and Matt Merritt says, so we know that the chicks dig bull riders, so Oat, do the chicks dig bulldoggers too? And Oat goes, the big ones do.
The big ones do.
I'm sitting there with Joe Frost, and he's dying laughing. It's all at my expense. But anyway.
Well, good morning, everybody. We kick off every show with our Pro Fantasy Rodeo round recap. Remember, everybody, that pay attention to your big team, but if you want to win some money, it's in the daily fantasy game. You get a discount, $5 off to play the daily game. Go try it if you haven't tried it yet. It's a lot of fun. I'm doing it now. Lots and lots of fun. You pick your team. You got another $100,000 in salary cap. And the big thing is, if you're paying attention to the NFR, you can see trends. You can look at day sheets. You can figure out winners. You can have your chance at winning some big money. But let's take a look, if we can, at some of our leaderboards. Let's look at the big game first, if we can, highly technical crew. So the big game, nope, this is yesterday's game. That's fine. We'll go with it first. Hell on Wheels wins with $194,000 winning. That's $3,500 for $194,000. I would pay $3,500 to the guy that's coming on stage today if he would give me $194,000 to my team. I promise I would donate it to whoever. Now let's look at the big game. Big game winners. Where are we at? Staggering numbers, people. JMMTX Joy Tamburo. His team has $755,000 won. By the way, that's about $700,000 more than my tattoo team has won. So by the way, play Pro Fantasy daily. It's a lot of fun. Play the big game. Pro Fantasy Rodeo. Happy to have them. And we've got a guest with us on
Hey,
today.
Tommy Joe, I don't know if you noticed, there's actually a tie for first and second.
Oh, I better say that. Well, then, Hardly Riding. How do you tie? So they have the same team? I'm telling you, this thing's rigged so I have ink. $755,000 tie. Thanks for bringing that up, Garrett. With $733 in second. Big game, big time. So that's the Pro Fantasy Rodeo fantasy recap. Let's kick it over to First Lady of Pro Rodeo Journalism, Kendra Santos, to give us a round recap in Thomas and Mack.
Just kind of my personal highlights. So last night being tough enough to wear pink night, I will just mention this. So for those who don't know, Terry Wheatley founded it. Terry Wheatley is a breast cancer survivor. She's the wife of an NFR team roper. She's the mom of an NFR team roper. Jim is her husband and Wade is her son. So it's a very personal cause to her. And to this point, that program's been around for 21 years, since 2004, and has raised, rodeos and Western events have raised $45 million.
Yes.
What's really cool about it is that all the money stays local, and it supports women in local rodeo communities. They buy mammogram machines. They pay for gas to get to treatments. They buy wigs. I mean, it's really cool. And I'll just, one little thing, I do notice that sometimes there is a very small movement of people wearing black, like in protest or whatever. I beg them to find out the true details, because the money really does stay local, and it helps a lot of people. And I know people it's helped. And so tough enough to wear pink. And the pink horn ramps were a cool touch.
They were super cool
last night. So the TV pen was out in all the Rough Stock events last night. Rocker Steiner got the round win on the Horse of the Year, Lunatic Heaven. That's a Brookman horse. So how they celebrated that at the buckle ceremony was by singing happy birthday to Rocker's 2002 world champion steer wrestler dad, Sid, who was 51 yesterday. So that was a nice birthday present for Dad. The bulldogging was fastest run of the night. Scott Gunther from Canada, he just swept the Canadian finals and won all 5 rounds there. He won the round, and that's the start, because I don't think you can get out any better here. Second is today's guest, Justin Shaffer, and the Banker boys are hot. So, okay, in the team roping, Colton Schmidt and Jonathan Torres took their second victory lap of the week. Colton is riding a pretty shiny Palomino horse that belongs to Ren Richard, who's been here in the calf roping and the team roping. That's fun to see. A note on those guys is that Colton Schmidt has roped with 9 guys in 2025, and Jonathan Torres has roped with 4. So they got here the hard way, and then they got mixed and matched here because their partners at the end of the season didn't make it. So that's kind of a fun twist. I also want to mention the Graham boys, Dawson and Dylan Graham, were 3-3. They reviewed both the barrier and the crossfire, and they got them for the crossfire. That was a big moment. I am grateful for the review, because those things happen so fast that you want to make sure you get it right. It's still a judgment call by a human being, but at least they looked at it twice in slow motion, or probably 20 times maybe in slow motion. Okay, Damian Brennan the Aussie won another round in the bronc riding. This is an interesting horse name, R. Watson's Ed Bishop. I don't know what the deal is on that. I assume R. Watson is for Randy Watson's boots. That's a sponsorship sort of a situation. I don't know, but I don't know who Ed Bishop is, but I'd be curious.
He is a alter ego of one Matt Birch.
Okay.
Long story there.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Well, now, okay. So, but some really...
What is an alter ego?
There's something funky there, but...
Long story short.
Is it like a meme with a mouth?
No, Matt got a little intoxicated one night and had a little incident with local law enforcement. And when they asked him what his name was, he just fired off and said Ed Bishop. And and so then the next morning when he woke up and they kept calling him Ed Bishop, he's like, "Who is Ed Bishop?" And they're like, "Well, that's what you said your name was." He goes, "My name's Matt Birch. I don't know who Ed Bishop is." So Frontier Rodeo and Surveys both have horses named Ed Bishop. So
that's awesome. That's like a notorious outlaw in Vegas name. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But Virgil and the Black Tie were out, and my understanding is Virgil, that's been a double winner in the bareback and the bronc riding. He's 18 years old. He's retiring after the NFR.
That's what he said at the award ceremony.
Okay. So then, big night in the calf roping. John Douch won the round 7-4. Awesome. Big twist. With 2 wraps, Shad Mayfield's calf got up.
Yep.
That was a big ouch.
And that seemed awful close. I'm interested. I meant to go to some insiders and just see what defines I guess if they stand up, even if they're on three legs and their legs look tied. But that's interesting to me, right? Where that line is drawn.
Yeah, that's kind of a heartbreaker because so many of these guys. I mean, Shad obviously he can have a bobble or take 2 reps and still win the round. That's what he's kind of famous for. But that was a pretty tough one. Douch has moved up to second in the average after a couple of little plot twists last night. I will say for Shad, when they're running the extras out there and he's just kind of had his heart broken, he was signing autographs for kids and stuff. And then he made the trip over to the South Point and went up on stage with Douch. And that was like some pretty good sportsmanship because I know he was heartbroken.
Yeah.
So in the barrel race, Carly Otero, tiny. She's tiny.
She's tiny. She weighs like 65 pounds.
And so.
Do you have a weight on Carly Otero? Or seriously? Like, that's an advantage. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wild. But some of these horses, Lisa Lockhart's little Sorrel Mare Sasha, like, they are, like, almost violent. They're so, like, strong and quick. And when they get around him, it's, like, wild. Okay. And interesting to me that Haley Kinsel, you know how she always used to be, what was it, the Hollies, a long, cool woman in a black dress? That was her song. She now has Trevor Brazil's theme song, Thunderstruck.
That's cool.
It's kind of a...
Well, and I've got a couple things on the barrel race. And first-timer Caitlin Scott now leads the average. This is from my No Spinner Inside crew. She's competing alongside her sister-in-law, Halen Lyde, who landed in money last night for the first time, tying for second from a borrowed horse because her main one, which was voted WPRA Horse of the Year.
Horse with the most heart.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Had to stay home due to the herp. But last night, Caitlin let Taylor Moykins use her backup horse so she had something to ride. And that's, that just again shows what these people do for each other. And also, Carly Otero, as you talked about, gold medalist at our rodeo, and in 2011 on her horse, Dylan, won. So it's a little bit of cool note, especially the camaraderie.
Yeah, that horse, Dylan, that buckskin horse, won a ton here. And yes, Halen married Caitlin's brother, Aaron, so they are sisters-in-law. Okay, J.R. Stratford, 90.5 points on his
What's going to be his alter ego name when the Feds show up because of the feather?
Okay, he did ride this Deal Me In that was previously unridden. That's worth a note. And also worth a note, that guy's been like freaking Humpty Dumpty. He's had elbow, shoulder, and surgery in his leg. And he like just took a year off to get all patched up, as he put it. So for him to be, back at this level of this kind of action. I wanted to mention the Top Gun leader. I don't think anybody would say they saw this coming. Wasey Shala is leading the Top Gun for the most money won in a single event in the bareback riding. That's interesting to me. He's got over 128,001, and that's, most people would say, oh, well, the bull riding's his best event or whatever. In the bareback riding, he's won more than anybody else here in a single event.
He just continues to get better and better every time he nods his head in the bareback ride. That's just the truth.
He's only 19.
So. He is only 19.
So do you want to mention something about JR's feather?
Hey, can I jump in real quick? Wasey did break the record last night, youngest millionaire in pro rodeo. 19, yeah.
That's some, what kind of who did he break it from?
I think Riley
Webb?
I think so, yep.
That's pretty cool. 19 years old, $1 million. I don't know what the profit margin is on it, but it's probably pretty good.
Well, and a couple other things to mention at the NFR, because I thought it was really cool. During the live show, they did a shout out to members of their production team that have been in service. And Rick Salee, Guatney, Amaral, those guys got little mini bronzes along with other guys. I don't think that we're all out there. And that's a cool thing to do, by the way, because that thing doesn't happen without all those people that are putting in the time to help put it on. So that was close and special to my heart. I'm glad they took a break.
Can I say one more thing about Gunther? Am I saying his name right? Gunther? Okay, close enough. So that guy keeps trying to retire. And in 2021, he had a brand new baby boy, or he missed the birth of the brand new baby boy. His name's Rich, who was on the stage with him last night. But Scott keeps trying to retire, and then things happen that won't let him. Like, he just keeps winning. So it's kind of interesting, you know, like it's like he doesn't set out to make the NFR, but things happen, and then he
Like
finds
winning.
himself in a position
Like
where
winning.
it's like, well,
It's a lot easier to not retire when you win. I'm going to retire from the tattoo league. Go ahead.
Yeah, but most guys don't make the finals when they set out on October 1st to make it,
Yeah.
is my point. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then he wins and he wins and he wins. And then he has to finish the year, and here he is again.
Is that a recap?
Did you have something you wanted to say about the World Series real quick?
Oh, yeah. Well, in the World Series, couple things. That's the second big event that's going on. Let me scroll through my little iPadder here and get to the right spot in that. But yesterday, I was going to bring this up, and we didn't have time yesterday, and then we'll bring on our guest. Let's see here. Logan Medlin and Coy Rollman split 100K 2 days ago, and and won a open.
Can I just to interject on that? So that's a tell. That's the new team for 2026. And last year, of course, Logan was roping. Coy's been here before, but Logan was roping here with Coleman Proctor last year. And going into round 10, Coleman had 2 gold buckles on the line, and Logan had a chance to win his first world title. And Coleman had a choice: a layup, and he's the all-around champ of the world. Maybe even, actually, I think he gets a second gold buckle in team roping because he went to Pendleton with Junior Nogueira and Logan stayed home. So he had a shot at 2 gold buckles with a layup, but instead he decided he had to place really high in the round for Logan to have a chance. And it was a live by the sword, die by the sword. He's a disciple of Speed Williams, who was famous for you go for first no matter what. So trying to help his partner win a gold buckle cost himself 2. That's pretty
cool.
Yeah.
Well, and then yesterday, Clint Robinson, his good friend, won the 13.5 finale. Clint made the NFR 5 times in the tie-down roping, and his family, along with himself and his partners, they're actually the ones that started the pink and ruby buckle and the Riata Stallion initiatives, which is changing the game over there down the road. Today's the number 12.5 Ariat World Series finale short go.
Clint's dad, Lance Robinson, is the one that started those things, and he team roped and bulldogged here at the NFR. And Uncle Clay, Lance's brother, was a coach at Cal Poly for a long time also.
Yeah. So that's the World Series update. Lots of stuff going on over there, and you can't get into a restaurant, you can't get a cup of coffee, and you can't walk around without getting healed and all those things. So good thing we have them. Okay, at this time, we would like to bring up our guest. Well, we'll talk everything rodeo. Welcome to the stage, Casey Jones, Pro Fantasy Rodeo and creative EVP of Teton Ridge, and Justin Shaffer. Welcome to the stage.
Hi, fellas. Good morning. Absolutely great.
Good morning, man. Don't touch me. No, so he runs the gig. Don't touch me. Here's the deal, people. We might as well get this out of the way because he's been texting me since last night. So I'm in the Celebrity Tattoo League. So is Kendra. Kendra's currently 13th. Lucia Legacy. Tommy Joe Lucia is currently 22nd, which happens to be very last. And what happens when you're very last, when it's in the end, the number one guy gets to decide where to put a tattoo on you. So, as of this morning, John Harrison's leading. And just because I thought it was a good thing to do, I did text Mr. Harrison this morning. And here's the way this text went. Hello, John. Tommy Joe Lucia here. Just a note to let you know that I think you're the greatest guy in the world. There's not a more compassionate, caring human anywhere in the rodeo business. I hope you win the tattoo deal because I'm definitely going to lose. He sends back, epic. I love this. Good move. I hope you win too. And I'll keep this text close to my heart when I'm making tattoo decisions in the future.
Butt liquor.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want a Tyson tattoo.
You want to see
Is there any rules around this? Is there any policy procedures?
Nope. You got to see the text he's been sending me.
Well, I don't want to.
We got some pretty good creative designs already mocked
Oh,
up.
are you helping him figure something out?
I'm helping. You know me. I'm trying to help you.
But I can do a buyout, right? Can't I do a buyout to the charity?
Yes.
How much is it?
$1,000. Was it? Yeah, $1,000.
Piece of cake, baby. That's an easy decision.
How much do you want to help your charity? If you get the tattoo, Pro Fantasy Rodeo is going to give the charity $5,000. So you're kind of running backwards if you just get that $1,000 out of your pocket.
Will Pro Fantasy Rodeo give the charity $10,000?
Well, it depends.
Time?
No,
You
it's
guys
in the legal. It's already in the legal. We can't change.
Oh, what? But you can't give an additional $5,000 out of the. Yeah, you can.
Well, we could.
You will.
What we could.
If I get ink, it's $10,000.
No, it's
Here we
$5,000.
go. All right, hi Justin. How you doing? I'm glad he agreed to that. Listen, did you hear that? How often do you hear Casey Jones go? The new guy's really sharp on the budgets. All right. So we covered some fantasy rodeo. You roll with the real cowboy over there.
He is a real cowboy. He's won almost $50,000 here. This is his second NFR. He's banker's man. And, the horse of the year, Tucker Allen and Shaffer here, like this horse. Well, before banker, you rode a lot of 2-year-olds. You did a lot of cowboying. You made a lot of horses. You did what you needed to do to pay the bills, right? And this horse has changed your career and your life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Special animals don't come along, and not everybody gets on them. And I've been blessed to have a lot of great horses, but nothing like this one. He's a one of a kind. And to your point of training, I've worked my whole life to try to train good horses. I just showed him once or twice, and he taught me a lot. So I didn't get to do much training.
It's a crazy story. I didn't know anything about it until last year. Shaffer comes over there to Rodeo Vegas, and I'm like, what's that horse? He's like, man, we just started. Like, he just loves it. Like, day one, I'm a bulldogging horse.
All the great ones love it, don't they?
Yeah. When was the first steers you run on him?
We just watched a video of that. It was March, and Tucker won Reno on him. So we started in March. Tucker wins Reno on him. He ran one steer on him. I asked him for help. I said, Tucker, I'm 30. It's getting to the point where I'm going to charge a lot to jump steers on somebody else's horse. And on mine, like, I can't quite get the numbers in I'd like to, like I used to, if I want to stay where I'm, competitive. And he's like, yeah, I'll help you. Well, I run 2 on him. He ran 1. He flew back to California. And then he asked me, he said, hey, what we riding at Reno? I said, I think we're riding Banker. He's like, yep, you bet.
You guys hazed on that horse for a year before, or?
Yeah, a summer.
Summer?
Yep. Same deal. I think I bought him in April, and then we hazed on him that summer. Probably could have had jobs out here on him. It was just 7-year-old.
But for the people that aren't insiders, these two guys are both bulldoggers. Don't worry, we'll get into your illustrious career in a little bit. When you say they just love it, they're just natural at it. What are the things that make a bulldogging horse special? That those of us that watch bulldogging and don't understand, what is the moves? What is it that they do, right, that makes them? I know they got to be fast and got to hit the mark and get out and all that, but what else?
Yeah, I'll backtrack a little bit. I got my mother and father-in-law sitting out here today, and Todd, my father-in-law, last night said he touched on when we were hazing on that horse. He was amazing to haze on. There was nothing going to outrun him, so you're always there. But you could run 3 on him, he'd be in a white lather and just mad about it, or hot. He didn't love that part. We moved him over, and we made fun of Jace Melvin last year warming him up. Just gave him a hard time because he'd have more sweat on him warming him up than he would after we run 3 steers. Like, he just loves it that much. So the special parts about the great ones is, yeah, they all are going to be able to fly, or you're not going to ride them here, I think being good in the corner and all that has to come down to being great-minded horses. They're able to not only handle the pressure, but then step up when they need to step up. In their mind, are they racing the steer? Right, I'm trying to think what the horse is thinking, right? Is it a race? I would say so.
That's what I would think.
Say, I mean, maybe not even the steer sometimes, just winning the race. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
16 legs all trying to do the same.
Yeah.
Steer flat on its side here. So.
Yeah.
I've always thought there was two different types of bulldogging horses. The ones that are dumb, and they don't know the pressure. They just back in there and they listen to you and they run as fast as they can and come back and do it again.
There's bulldoggers like that. You're in that category. Go ahead.
Because it's a lot of pressure. They're not supposed to move until you drop your hand, and then it just lights out. Come back and do it again. Run their guts out again. Come back and do it again. Or the ones that really love it. I mean, they love it. And then that's some of the special horses I had in my career. Like they just, couldn't wait. Like Grinder, when I bought him from Mullen Hannum, his name was Turtle. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird bulldogging horse name. But he'd back up in the box and he'd grind his teeth. He just couldn't wait. I mean, loud. You could hear it, And so that's how he got his name. But he just couldn't wait to go. And then, like, you could see when, the first finals, Will rode him at the Globe Life. And he just the first final was out here in 2019. Will rode him. And then people started watching him after Will threw the steer down because he'd just do victory laps. And he still, to this day, when you get done, he does a victory lap. He just loves it. So it's either dumb or loves it.
Kind of what we're displaying in the bulldogging category today. No offense.
Not coincidental that you and Tucker both made your first NFR last year with Banker had. That's not a coincidence, right?
Not at all.
And you have 3 guys on him here.
Yes, ma'am.
We've talked about the rookie bets in the bull riding this week. You and Tucker got hazed with a rookie bet last year. I remember I can see it in my mind. You guys, was it tall boys taped to your hands? Was it
yeah.
for grand entry practice?
Yeah,
or?
right before grand entry practice, they taped, 2 to you, which they did number one, they were cold, and number 2, there was a good beer, so it wasn't hard to get. It wasn't hard for me to finish, but no, they did it again this year to some bronc riders, but they had like maybe 4 locos or something. I mean, it was god awful, so they just kept sipping on them the whole deal.
Who were the guys last year that came up with yours? Was it Dakota?
I think they all got together. Dakota, Will, a bunch of them, and it was me, Tucker, and Cash Rob.
What did Cash have to do?
Same thing. Yeah, they taped him to his hand too.
So I got a bulldogging question. This is a non-bulldogger asking I'm very serious question about this. These steers that hang legs, are there draws? Are there certain steers that are prone to do that, or is it all in the way you daylight them?
Sometimes it's the technique wasn't, quite the best, and they'll hit. But some steers just kind of wash out and they lose momentum, and it's really hard to finish and lift them up.
So it could be the draw.
Either way.
If you see, you see a draw and say, "Ooh, I better hit him right"? Is that fair or no?
It's fair. You also, I think all these steers we get to prepare them to come to this building, and at some point they had daylight underneath them, or we wouldn't have picked them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's also fair to say that maybe you didn't get all the meat off the bone. Even if that steer for 3 rounds doesn't take it, at some point he had it in him, and he can attest to it. If we made our very, very best run, probably get him.
So 95% of the time, that's how you handle the animal.
Yes.
But sometimes, these steers are really good, and then when they get here and hang out, they eat the best feed in Las Vegas.
Arena.
They start getting a little bit, fold, a little bit sluggish coming around the corner.
And this arena's hard on them. Just as hard on all the livestock, as short as it is. And I think that's why the competition and everything rises out here, and you have to.
There can't be anything that sucks more than being there on the ground and realizing you've hung a leg, right? I can't imagine in this game, maybe other than missing a horse out, right? But being down there, getting everything happening and realizing that leg's hung. Right?
Or it's worse if they get away.
Well,
that's worse.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, no, especially here. I understand that. But you've done everything relatively right.
But I want to talk about, and ask Shaffer, the hazing out there. Like, it's just like the scariest job
here.
You have out. It's like when I hazed out here, because the bulldogging horses are some of the fastest at the NFR, and there's amazing. Every horse here in timed events, top notch, and the bulldogging horses are fast. Well, the hazing horse has got to be able to, because the bulldogging horse is leaving when the cowboy nods, and so the hazer's got to, be on a good enough horse to be reactive.
He's
to see
reacting
that.
right after that. Yep.
He sees that. Then he has to go set the play up. And Trevor knows he got here at 6 o'clock, got off the plane. He's like, Jones, I know you'd be the only one to answer your phone. And he says, what is going on out there in the haze? And he says, you remember Sid Brett? He says, every one of his NFR pitchers, Sid's got them just lapped up. I mean, just got them cut off. But it's tough.
Well, and also, I don't think you could take that right-hand turn today if you got on there and tried to do it. Because those guys are watching, right? And then they look up and it's yellow.
Oh, yeah.
And those hazing horses I watched last night, they're taking a hard right now.
Yeah, you don't have an opportunity on the haze side to win the race very often. Like, you're losing the race, and now you just hope to save the bleed. And both rounds, Tucker's one that I've hazed for. When I left, my heart dropped. I thought, there's no way I'm getting there, because everything's in front of me when I leave.
Yeah.
So it's a testament to the good.
When you go, you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh, I got him hazed.
Oh, thank God.
I was wondering, like, round 2, like, you kind of had a heartbreaker, your steer got away, right? And then you got to jump back on and haze for Tucker, who wins the round. How hard is it when you just got deflated to jump on and, I mean, you don't have time to get pissed, right?
Right. Yeah, I separate the two. I've had a lot of practice at it, but for me, it's my bulloggin's in a box. I call it my box, and I gotta stay within that. And some nights I'm not, but the hazing's totally different for me. And so I'm going to do the very best I can do and haze as good as I can, no matter my situation. You know, not to say I wasn't mad. I joked when I was getting on the hazing horse to keep myself light. I said I never thought I'd take this much Thomas and Mack outside of the Thomas and Mack. I had dirt all through my boots and shirt, you know, and so I kept it light for Tucker's sake. And then, of course, get out back. I had my little 10-minute pouting session, and then I was over. So
I would love to go back to last year. Jesse Brown's on Banker again here this year. But last year, he got on him, at round 5, 6? Round 5.
Yep.
And talk about that. Like, how hard is it? And Jones, you know as well as anyone, like, you come here with a game plan, you're locked in, and then sometimes, for whatever reason, it's just not, and you got to make a change, right? And so, and then he got on Banker and was lights out for the second half, right?
Yep. Absolutely. You know, when he called and asked, and there was no hesitation. There was only 2 of us on him, and it was very evident that he needed to do something. So when he made that call, I didn't hesitate to tell him yes, but to watch him do what he did then, won 3 of the last 5 go-rounds, and, you know, but that's Jesse to a T. I don't think it matters what you put him on, as long as if they'll do their job and he has one that will play, that guy's always that way. So,
is there too many head for your horses? Like, is there a magic number of how many guys should ride them one night?
I don't know.
Or
It
is
just
it the
depends
horse?
The horse.
The horse.
Like, man, back in the day, remember when Sam had that little white horse at Greeley and Slack? There was 38 guys got him on that.
Or Roy Duval, one day at Fort Worth, I think it was
Houston.
like 60. Houston?
Houston's
Was
like
it 60?
62 steers.
Yeah.
Holy
Whiskey.
smokers.
But, you know, you get a horse in shape and they love their job. It's easy for them.
And Roy would not tell anyone no because he had been turned down when he was young.
Yeah, he's a legend. Yep. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's really cool.
But it's, you know, there's 3 on Banker, there's 3 on Swamper, 3 on Crush. And then I actually think it's harder on those hazing horses. Because it's just like as fast as they could go and then stop.
Well,
you know?
and on that, like, do you, with your peripheral vision, are you kind of seeing that Tucker's okay over there? I mean,
Not here.
not here.
No, I let him. You better holler or scream or that. And we got guys in each box specifically. You know, look at my horse's feet, make sure he's standing good. But you watch Tucker, he watches me. That way they can say holler or whatever. That way we can stay focused on what we're doing.
Are you guys looking at the guy or the steer when you're hazing?
Oh, the guy. Because to Casey's point, the start here in the Bulldoggins before the gates. You're moving before the gates come open, and on the hay side, we even try to read facial expressions before they nod. Like, I kind of know their tendencies. Tucker's got mine down to T, but he's like, before your hat comes up, I've already read I'm leaving. And that, because you're already at a disadvantage. If their horse is going before yours and they're riding a fast horse, you've already missed the starting block, so you better be able to get around them.
You came in 7th, is that right?
Yep. No, this year?
Yes. Is
Third.
that right? 3rd?
Yep.
Talk about Sioux Falls.
That's why I came in third.
That was a big one.
Awesome.
Arena record?
Yeah. Yep. 3 flat.
I mean, talk about that.
That's a similar setup, isn't it?
Finish
is there very
line.
much difference between? There's not a lot of difference, is there?
There's no other start like here, even when people, for some reason, even when they try to replicate it, they just don't quite get it done. And I think it has something to do with cattle being prepared for this rodeo, leaving and running for that sake. But yes, very similar. I've told a lot of people, if you want to go watch a mini NFR and not deal with a crowd or whatever, go to Sioux Falls, because you can park right by the building and walk in and not deal with all that kind of stuff. But amazing for me.
How much did you win there?
$43,000.
Holy moly.
So I got a question. So being a previous rodeo clown and animal trainer like the Lucias do, when you do these rodeos and you have trained animals, they start cheating. I call it cheating, but they don't want to do, those trick horses and stuff. And if you look at the lead pair if you watched the hitch last night, that lead pair of horses on the stagecoach, they know those yellow gates are going to open, right? So as soon as they stop, last night they gave it about 15 seconds and they're like, wah, 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 because they know they're going to the stall, right? And do these bulldogging horses start to get sour, cheat? When I say cheat, I don't mean it in a derogatory way, but just kind of like, I'm over this. Does that happen?
I would call it anticipation. Like I've breezed Banker up the tunnel the first 4 nights, and I've always said when you're warming him up, when he starts pulling on you, that's it. I don't care if he's got sweat on him or what. You're done right there. Stop right there. And last night I spun him around to the left, which he was already warm. I loped him, but I spun him around, and before I even asked him to lope off, he's trying to drag me up there, and I just turned him back around and quit. I thought, we're not going through that process. So he's starting to anticipate the patterns, right? He understands, and a good smart horse will. To Jonesy's point, the dumb horse will just do the same thing over and over and over. The smart horses will start figuring that out. I think that's what makes some of them great as far as being in the box and stuff. You don't see them start jumping the gun or get, anticipating all that much. And I think those kind of horses that are that great, they have that kind of confidence to not jump the gun, not.
But you're asking for 0 to 90 and nothing, right? I mean, it's crazy. I would love to ask you guys, this has been an exceptionally difficult year for timed event cattle with the Mexican border closed, right? Like, how has that impacted year round the bulldogging? I mean,
we had I hope this ain't too much info. We had to approve cattle that had been roped, and usually in the bulldogging we don't want to have to do that, but we had to approve them this year. And there was videos of some of Remy's herd that were running here. It's like, oh yeah, I made the American on that steer in the team roping.
Interesting.
So it affected us as far as you had to be a little more focused on keeping the cattle good, but I don't think we fully felt what we're going to feel this coming year. We're talking about running natives and some of the stuff we might have to do if the border don't open up. So I think we'll feel, it was a year getting there for us, even though it was closed. There's enough cattle already over here, because I think Jason said he's got 400 heads standing down there now, which they should already been here, right, and being prepared for this year. So we don't know if we're going to get them or not. So I think
Jace Honey has 400 head. I feel like I heard that the other day.
Yeah,
so
at the border.
And then for everybody that doesn't know, why are they not letting them over? For all of our fans that have no idea.
Yeah.
Screwworm. Yeah.
Screwworm?
Screw worms. It's like the EHV1 of the Mexican border with the cattle right now.
I think, which would you rather say? I've got screwworms or herp? I don't know.
You've said it both before.
So it's that, and who decides when that border opens? Like,
It's our government right now. I mean,
Gotcha.
I don't know how that works sometimes. Sometimes it's sometimes the Texas-Mexico border will be shut down, California won't, so I'm not sure.
I don't think you want to try to smuggle them on any boat going anywhere around Venezuela. That's all I've got to say. It wouldn't be a good idea.
Justin had some pretty good news this morning. He told me that the Preference new chute opens a little bit. Well, it opens more reliable if there's a steer pressing on it, right? But it's just a tick slower than the old chutes.
Really?
And then also, he had news. So here at the NFR, you have 3 pins of steers, and then you get to choose which pin you get to run 4 times. And the bulldoggers come together. When was it? Yesterday?
Yeah. So no, the day before. So that night, round 4, you have to, if you're going to make that decision in the ground rules, it's by round 4. So Riley texted us and asked us. That was when they broke up, the 5
Riley Duval, the director.
Yep.
Event rep.
Yep. And so when he texted us all and said, "Hey guys, if you want to make a change after 5 barriers broken one night, you never see that at the NFR in the Bulldogging." And so we all voted for the pin we're going to run tonight. We'll run 6, 8, 10. We'll run them 4 times. Usually the pin you start with in round 1, you run 4 times. The rest of them you get to run 3. So we're going to change that set, as we thought that was the most even leaving and running steers there were.
And then who owns this 3 pins?
Anthony Verdino's the ones we're going to run tonight. Remy Parrott we ran last night. And then Jace Honey, the Honeys was the set we run the night before that.
And Remy is Rowdy's brother, for people who don't know.
Has hay steer a couple times now. Does a great job. He got in the steer business the year before last.
And
doing awesome.
And getting in the steer business this day and age, how much those steers cost? Like
2,200, the ones that are sitting down there right now.
Ahead.
That's nuts.
That's
and
nuts.
they'll make 3 burgers and 1 tough steak. Well, so we talk about this, and it's known in the industry, but it's always fun to talk about, and that's the Steer Wrestling Brotherhood. There's not a group, there's just not, that comes anywhere close. And so, Justin or Casey, either one of you guys, examples of that this year that people may not have seen or known about. If you could share any of those, or either past examples. My point is, these guys, they legitimately, as a whole, care about each other. Like, it's the real, it's not like, hey, give me knuckles, I wish you would have lost. It's real. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Was it I think it was in Puyallup. So, Will's been, just on a tear all year long, winning first everywhere and had a huge, lead in the standings. And then Wag, he was kind of struggling. He couldn't find a horse that was really just dominating and making it easy for him. So it was Dakota and Will that was riding Swamper all year. Well, then Wag asked if they could get on Swamper, and so this Will had some trouble with finalizing his, world championship at the end. But just the brotherhood is like, yeah, you can jump on ours.
Get on my horse that's carrying me to the victory.
That's a big deal, And then Will had a little trouble here the first round, and then it looks like Wag's going to step up and Wag, whatever happens in this little arena, it seems like it's always coming out in Wag's favor, But he let one go the other day, and it's going to be a really close race down to the finish. But just to that, Will had such a huge advantage. He had a horse that he's really synced with, and he lets his good buddy on,
Anything come to mind, Justin, since you've been here, out of the ordinary?
No, not out of the ordinary.
Yeah,
it's
well,
it's
I shouldn't
ordinary.
have said that.
And I'm not picking on the other guys, but I bet they don't know, finance. We know there's guys we know their financial situations at home, their kids' name. We know them all, So it's an everyday occurrence that you really do know these guys and you really are friends with them. And you might want to slap shit out of them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, we'll buy each other a drink after. Like, that's
just like, but
that's a healthy relationship, people.
Just like
every now and then, if you just do that, you could get over it.
It's just like the Lucia brothers.
That's right.
I would love to, this is kind of out there, but see if you guys will confirm this, because it's my understanding. Sometimes I hear about, in other events, some people pay like a lot of money for a trade. The Bulldoggers, they do not allow that, right?
No paying for trades, and then trying to make the money even. Best man wins that day. We'll go on to the next one, but yeah, we've tried to stay away from the no money for trade. And if you add up the miles at the end of the year, it's all the same. You're within pennies, of the same fuel money and all that kind of stuff. So, and we're all out there trying to do the same exact thing. It ain't like if you're competing against somebody else, like if I nod my head to beat Will every night, I'm beat already. I'm trying to throw the steer down that I got, not Will. I don't know if I could throw him down. So.
I don't think you could.
No, right.
I'll just be hanging on to that beard.
The money for trade still is a very big issue in some of the other events, because when you start having people paying $2,500 to get your position, bullshit.
Okay, but if it's allowed, and you're cool with doing it, do it.
The profit margin's hard enough for Cowboys, so.
I mean, it goes against code, but if it's allowed,
that's
then
been
stop
going on
it.
a long time, though. Do you remember when Colorado Springs was a big flip? And if you wasn't in that second run of the steer wrestling or calf roping or team roping in that morning when those steers are just, cooked, they won all the money there. I remember they used to pay big money to come back in there because you could just run 2 steers there in the Springs and go on your way. But that was when I first started rodeoing. I mean, you had to draw there. And those guys knew that if you don't have that, you don't have a shot of winning, or less shot of winning. But it's been going on for a long time.
Doesn't make it right.
I agree.
And back to the point of the Bulldoggers being like truly good people. I don't think you guys are old enough, but I am, to have been at Colorado Springs Slack the day that the Shakota boys saved the calf roping, saved its existence. Surely you have heard that Roy Duval said the Shakota boys ain't for it, stepped in front of the stop Slack, stepped in front. They were gonna make it a pick 5, and the calf roping was going away. And the Bulldoggers, I was there. They stormed. They drove across town. Everybody jumped like in a clown car, only in trucks, and went to HQ. And there was a freaking showdown. And the calf roping, now tie down roping, was saved by the Bulldoggers. I was there. I saw it. It's true.
Ain't for it.
Ain't for it.
Aim for it.
Ain't for it. Let's, you got us, Justin, you have an injury report for us?
I don't know of any new injuries.
No injuries?
I don't think so.
Will's back was a little bunged up before he get here. I haven't talked to him lately.
Sounds like it's better. He's been getting it worked on. Yeah, he sounds like he's getting through it anyway. It hasn't got any different. But Dakota's foot was broke before he got here, and then Stetson, he hurt his knee. But other than that, I think everybody's healthy. Yeah.
There was nothing new reported since round 2.
Well, then let's go into everybody's favorite thing to talk about, and that is who got a fine last night. Let's hear the sirens. There we go. All right, we are fortunate enough to be able to show you last night's fine list, right? And there's some interesting evolution to this thing. Sam Peterson, inability to free hand in the bareback riding, inability to get his paw out of the riggin. He probably had to convince the riggin to let go because the riggins are significantly different. That was a $100 fine. Haven Medjed, unintentional drag, $100 fine. And Shane Hanshey, riding in the arena without approval, $250 fine. And I'm going to kick it over and let's talk about this. But the one that's not there is J.R. Stratford and the eagle feather, which was going to compound and which would have cost him $255,000. And I was there and I saw feather. And my whole conversation was, this guy's got cojones. He's going to prove a point. He did have a feather. He got a different feather. It was not an endangered feather. So the feather police are off.
He did make a crack last night about shout out to the Cherokee Nation for the first 3 rounds. Was it an eagle feather?
Eagle, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I think it's listed as an endangered
Maybe a hawk
feather or something.
Maybe a hawk.
Was it a hawk?
Same thing, though.
Same thing.
Yeah, they protect them, too.
By the way, there are a lot of people. This Sam Peterson, young, quiet kid, he was only a quarter point behind Rocker last night. And there are a lot of people buzzing thinking, he's very, very quiet. And a lot of people sitting in those stands are buzzing that they feel like he's getting a Jim Sharped a little bit because he doesn't make a big to-do after the whistle.
Well, the old poor Rocker thing that went on. Rocker, listen, you can hate me if you want, but I thought he got a little blessed last night on the way it went down. I still think it was a great ride. Thought he might have got a little bit blessed on that. So let me ask you guys, most memorable fine for you guys. What about you? Did you get fined?
Yeah, I can't remember though.
You can't remember? Was that uneventful? Was it like my fly was down or something?
Yeah, picking my nose or something like that on TV.
Justin, anything on your end?
I've yet to get one.
Oh, yeah.
Choir boy.
Yeah, he brings the apple. bring apples to the judge's room.
But there for a while, the Bulldoggers, there's a countdown clock. And remember when Soon was riding Max? Boy, they just ring it on him every night. It took forever to get Max set. But yeah, that was, in the Bulldogging, that was probably the biggest finds coming.
I feel like last year I jumped. So if you jump out of the box on the hay side, I think you get to do it once a night. So we're hazing 3 steers on my horse. I think if you break the plane more than once a night, it's quite a bit. I think it's 800 or something.
So you get to do it once, but if your horse does it twice.
But we've seen, I'm assuming it was because the gate didn't open when the guy nodded. We've seen some bulldogging horses and teams make now that's just because the guy missed the gate.
I mean,
right?
they called for the cow, so that's not a
right.
But
so they don't get a fine. Okay, but they get to run the same one. There have been times at this NFR where people have had to, in the timed events, where people have had to run an extra. How big of a deal is that to you guys? Because the extra, because you picked them to not be in there as a first choice, right?
Most of the time for us, really the first extra you want to run it. First 2 extras you want to run. That'd be good, like loading.
Because they don't fix. They're too
They're
good?
a little better. And so our ideal on that is when we put the steers together, they're a little slower and everything else and a little better. But if a guy's going to have bad fortune and have to run an extra, I'd rather him win the round than have not.
But if a steer's like down or whatever, they can't get his head straight, whatever, who says, okay, we're going to run the extra? It's not the guy, right? It's a judge.
Well, and they give you say a steer's on his knees in the 10th round and he won't get up, but you really want to run him. They finally say, hey, you got to nod your head. Do you want the steer or not? And so you either got to take him down or you get to make the final call. Unless it's a situation where they let the steer out. You don't call for him. They let him run down the arena.
But now you're saying that the first extra is a good one. Are there times when guys are kind of milking it, wanting that one? Jones.
It could happen. And there's some steers.
They won't pay for trades, but they will do that.
I don't remember it happening at the NFR, but sometimes those first 2 extras, they're too good to put on because you think, man, if they're going to win all 3 rounds on them, and so let's put them as extra,
But it sounds fair if you have to run a second.
Yeah,
it's like you earned it.
Well, the thing about the picking of the steers, I'm assuming, is that what you want is to them to be so even. Where one, it's a bulldogging contest, right? But to where anything too good or not good, those are the ones to go, right? So because when you're casting your vote, you could get any one of those 15, so it's pretty important to you, right? What about the guys running the extras? How do you? Is their ultimate job to keep everything even? I mean,
yeah, and more so, please take the start. We want you to, we break every barrier. It doesn't matter. We want to know that them steers aren't going to stop, and if they are, fine. We just got to know it and have that in our bag. So their number one job is to make sure they're getting in the barrier. And then after that, yeah, you hope they do it. I mean, the guys that get picked to do it or asked to do it and we agree on.
Who is running the extras tonight?
Sam Goins running them this year.
What horses he got?
Fry, I don't know where Fry bought that little sorrel, but he bought him off of Fry. He's a cool little horse. He's a little sporadic sometimes, but got some wheels.
Riley Duval's hazing the extras.
Yep.
The event rep, but does it? I mean, I would think of it to keep you're trying to keep the cattle as even as possible in case you need that steer, right? So, isn't it kind of a large bummer if they don't get off?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you sit there and watch the extras go. Especially if you think something might happen. We've had steers questionable. Last year we had several steers with weird knots on their neck or just something that was, happened before they ever got to the United States, I'm sure, but they had things that probably weren't going to look the best on TV. And every night we were wondering if they were going to catch that and say, hey, no more of that steer. So then we were real dialed in on our extras. We're watching them every night. This year we don't, unless, God forbid, something breaks a horn or something happens to them in a back pen. This year I don't think we're going to see much of that.
I think we got 5 minutes, but I want to take a step back here because there's a lot of people that listen to our podcast and we start talking shop and it kind of goes over their head. So all of you experts around me, correct me. So they run the extra cattle, the bulldogging cattle is what they're talking about. They all get a run on them, the same amount of runs as they do in the arena. And you heard them talk about keeping them even, etc. And then Justin said it's about the start. So for those of you who don't, the key in the bulldogging is getting out of the box, pushing the barrier, right? Getting out clean as fast as you can because it's a timed event. Well, what Justin said is that it's important that when they run those extras, that those guys are pushing the barrier. In other words, hitting that start fast because they don't want the bulldogging steers that stop. So think about that. If you give the steer a little more time out there, he feels like the horses are more underneath him. He's less likely to stop. They want those cattle to see that guy on their eye right now and just dare him to stop because that's the worst. That's like hanging a leg or missing a steer is when you don't even get a chance because you blow by them. So I just wanted to kind of take a few minutes because some of that stuff, for some of these people, it's a whole new level of watching bulldogging when they start to watch that stuff. Right, guys? It's pretty cool.
Yep. Spot on.
Yeah. All right. Spot on. Look at there. Bam. Give me the ink, baby. All right. We're about 4 minutes out. We'll just do a little round table. You guys, both of you, other disciplines or events, as she would say. I like to say disciplines. Other events. Favorites? Like, is there somebody out there that you're rooting for in something other than the bulldogging?
Well, I've been watching it, in the daily picks, the top rider picks. And so you could see on the app.
Rocker.
Who's most popular? Rocker he's been number one, and then yesterday, Wasey Shala jumped above him.
Interesting.
But it's not really a popularity contest because Wasey's salary is way lower than Rocker.
Right.
And so, but it's always been overwhelmingly Rocker.
But he's won a ton.
Rocker. And then now he's proven like winning the fans over, and he's winning the average right now.
Yeah. What about you? What cowboy, cowgirl?
No, I love the calf roping, which we get up there just in time to watch it, So, and I roped a lot of calves, so I love watching it.
From the bar?
Yeah, right behind the whatever. I don't know what that one is, but it's right behind section 110, I believe, right there. Kind of watching. They let us peek down there and watch it. Tell us to get out of the way every now and then. Then you can't not watch the all around race. It's just incredible what the one guy does. I mean, he's superhuman. It's awesome. Win 3 go rounds in 2 rounds. Am I right there?
It's been
He's won a lot.
wild.
You can't look away. You can't not watch.
But it's not a runaway. And now with the another thing for the fans that don't know, the guys that do best, and I wrote some of this down because it's time that we start talking about the average, which is really the aggregate.
I want to ask Jones a quick pro fantasy. Is there a statistic, which you probably won't want to say if there is? I can't decide if you're better off to go with a team or to split them, the team roping partners.
So if you want to win the $1 million bonus, you got to have the same team.
Oh, you do?
Is that right?
Oh.
I'm glad you asked that question.
Because you have to have the winners of the average.
So they would be the winners of the average.
Right. But
insider trading right here.
But it's probably about 50-50. Like if you get in the fan magazine, my favorite page is the trucks and teams page. Because it has the winning team from last year and the salaries. And then you could see if the partners roped together or not, from there. But it's about 50-50. And it just, because there's 2 ways to look at it. If you win it, if your team wins it and you got this whole team, you get double the events. You won both events. But then if your team goes out.
If your team, for example, is 0 for 3 in the first 3 rounds like mine was, it's painful.
But I'd say in the daily fantasy, split them.
Interesting knowledge. Now, on the average, so I thought this was interesting. Caitlin Scott in the barrel racing is leading it with a 68.6. Aldridge second with a 68.69. That's 0.7 of a second, splitting them.
So Adios is second?
That's what I got. Yeah, that's what I got. Now, again, if there is misinformation out there. But anyway, here we go. We've got 30 seconds. I just want to thank Justin. We want to thank Casey. And, of course, the wonderful and beautiful Kendra Santos. Thank you all for being a part of No Spin Rodeo. We'll see you tomorrow right here in Cowboy Commons at the Cinch Stage. God bless you. Have a good afternoon.